Hello again, and for today we are going to be delving into the dreaded wahmen commentary. Now, what is a wahmen? Well, of course it's women, but why has this term become synonymous with the femoid? Well, very simple. It's because of the culture war and the initial indoctrination of feminism into the culture, and as a result, we now have lots of diversity characters for diversity quotas. And in Star Wars, there is an agenda, and that agenda is to make more women characters because everybody with a fucking degree in gender studies thinks George Lucas has a problem with women. He doesn't. He has a problem with his ex-wife. And so we are here at this impasse, especially in Disney Star Wars, because there are so many women characters now that aren't just background decorations or, things that are expanded on in other works. When I say things, I mean characters, obviously. But with this commentary comes lots of points as to why people perceive a problem with women in Star Wars. Now, let's go over the first point. And the first point is that they're all bad characters. I could run down a list of names in the Star Wars sequel trilogy and in expanded materials as such, like Rey, Admiral Holdo, Rose Tico, Lieutenant Connix, V. Marati, and yeah, each and every one of them, garbage tier characters. Fucking garbage. And this is because they are written to be perfect beings in their own respective little fields. Like Rose is a can-do-it rebel mechanic that can inspire everybody to do good in life, and utopian garbage like that. And then Admiral Holdo's like, I'm a vice admiral, and you need to listen to me because I'm the commanding officer, and good soldiers follow orders, which, if you've watched the Clone Wars, you know what the hell that means. Order 66. And, of course, beloved Rey, Mare Sue, she is the most powerful, most badass, most awesomest Star Wars character in the history of the franchise. And don't you dare say anything else, you misogynist. From filmtwitter.com. Anyway, these bad characters are setting a precedent that, as long as there are women in Disney Star Wars, then there is no problem. And this shit is just really stupid to me. It's so stupid that I just can't believe that people just accept bad characters, on the surface of it. And as a result, we now have this big conundrum. But people think it's a misogyny problem when it's always going to be a bad character problem. And so I move on to the next point. These women characters are obviously only there for the diversity agenda. This is really obvious from the writing, from the next point in the corporate speak. They want women, and they want women all the time. By comparison, if you look at the male characters of Disney Star Wars, you look at especially in the leads, like John Boyega's Finn, Poe Dameron, Kylo Ren, General Hux, fucking Cassian Andor, they are bland in comparison to the female. And it's really weird. And, how do you make Han Solo bland? Simple. You give him to people that don't respect male characters. And that is one of the big problems of Solo, is that not only Alden Ehrenreich was a bad choice, but the writing on Han Solo is fucking garbage. And it's because they don't want to do male characters anymore. They want to break male characters. And this is shown through their actions and, of course, the corporate mandate, which is the third point. The fact that they have this giant corporate mandate to pump out these diversity initiative Star Wars movies is just really disgusting, and it shows that they don't give a shit about Star Wars. And now we are at this impasse when it comes to Star Wars. And yet, there's so much to talk about with women in Star Wars, and I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface right now. And we can go over comments like people have. We can, talk about the Maresi, and we can talk about, shit Laura Dern said, and, shit Daisy Ridley has said, which, by the way, she once went on a game show and said there are only two genders, so I want that clip to fucking resurface so that all these Raylo weirdos can, get eternally ass blasted for eternity. And as redundant as that sentence was, what can we do to stop the promotion of these fuck-awful women characters? Well, we can counteract. And what do we counteract with, boys and girls? Star Wars Legends. Let's talk about characters like Shaak Ti, who I think is one of the better female Jedi from the prequels. Let's talk about Kanan Jarrus' Master Depa Billaba. Hell, we can't even talk about some good characterization in Disney Star Wars that includes women. And we could talk about Hera Syndulla and Sabine Wren, two main characters that are female that are great, that I really like. I like having Hera, be the great motherly pilot that can get everybody where they need to, but is always worried about everyone's safety. And Sabine Wren, who's like the not edgy teen girl, but definitely like she's spunky because she's got a past that she doesn't really want to talk about, and she'd much rather cause a little mayhem here and there to stop the Empire, who did fuck up her family. And these are great characters, and yet Disney doesn't promote them the way they promote Jyn Erso, Rey, Admiral Holdo, their version of Princess Leia that isn't the worst of the three, because, of course, Princess Leia's got to be elevated now over Luke and Han, because this is a women-run company, and the women want the strong female characters. And what they don't understand about strong female characters is they have to be feminine! And it's so mystifying to me that that is the problem. Because you read you read Rey, and she sounds like a genderless freak. Like, she has no romantic interest. She has no connection to anything. And even when she does with her family, like, they fucking drop the ball on what it's supposed to be. And if, anything has changed from those Rise of Skywalker leaks, and we are getting a different movie, and they solve this shit, then too little too late. Sorry, it's not going to help anything. You guys, what Lucasfilm has yet to understand corporately is how fucked they have made the situation for future female Star Wars characters. It is going to be an uphill battle for people to get behind a female character in Star Wars because of Kathleen Kennedy's selfish actions, her story group's inability to fucking do their jobs, and, these actresses who are like, I'm just reading the script, I don't really have anything else to say, and oh my god, it's so ridiculous. Like, okay, let's dial it back. Around the time that Laura Dern was cast in The Last Jedi, I was really hoping that A, she looked as good as she did in Jurassic Park, and B, that she was going to play Mara Jade or a Luke Skywalker's wife character. And to me, that would have been fucking awesome. And that would have explained that, hey, is Rey Skywalker? Is Rey related to a Jedi that was at the temple? And oh my god, the fucking character we got was literally an SJW walking stereotype where she had purple fucking hair and it wasn't even like, straight out neon and shit like some of the rave girls on Coruscant. It was just like really ugly. And to delve into a little bit of cultural Marxism, I think this is kind of the form of cultural control that the modern left is trying to put on a lot of franchises, Star Wars being the one I think they have succeeded in fucking vice gripping the most. And, with characters like Admiral Holdo, you see it in not only the hair, not only in the mannerisms and the behavior and the characterization, but it's also in the costuming. And you see it in Princess Leia's costuming too. Not a lot of flashy colors, a lot of like muted colors. And that's really modern, really kind of gross palettes for Star Wars. Star Wars shouldn't be like a modern movie. Star Wars should have a little vibrance. I think that's what Guardians of the Galaxy does better than Star Wars now, is that it's so fucking more colorful than any other science fiction film on the market. And that's why people really gravitate to those Marvel movies, other than, the soundtrack and the cast of characters. It's because they pop on the screen a lot better than some of the other Marvel movies like Winter Soldier or Civil War. And to conclude, there is a problem with women in Star Wars, and it all stems from the women running Star Wars. And if they just were self-aware enough, then this wouldn't be such a fucking issue. And as we continue to see what lies in store for Star Wars, there is a certain someone who I've called the lizard person that wants to be in Star Wars. And her name, of course, is Brie Larson. And to that bitch I say, get the fuck away. Like, stop ruining shit. You are not a good actress anymore. You have paused yourself with progressivism, and now you are a hack ideologue. And that is the people who run Lucasfilm as well. They all act like this. And then all the guys in this company act like a bunch of scared little fucking soy boys because either job security or political alignment. And I'm sick of this shit. And I know everybody in the Fandom Menace and in some of the parts of the normie community are sick of this garbage. We want good characters. We don't want to fucking waste our time loving Star Wars anymore. You've already wasted enough valuable time as is. So, to Lucasfilm, to the women in the company, especially to Michelle Rejwan, who's going to be continuing on the live action side of things, bitches, you better tread lightly because you're ruining it for future women.